Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hi.
Hi, Liz. Today is Monday, May 2nd, 2011. You're listening to On Tap, episode 155. I'm Dale Coulis, and if you haven't heard already, that's Liz Harpster.
Hi.
Joined by Chris Harpster.
Hi.
And also joining us, we have a very, very special guest.
Irene Hoodala. Hello, everybody.
Making her return. For long-time listeners, you may remember her from our Final Fantasy Advent Children review episode.
She was on pain meds then, though.
Yes.
Do you remember it, Irene?
She was loopy.
I do remember that, but I think I was very entertaining. Just
Yes.
just
I was on Vicodin or something.
Yes.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Totally prescription, I promise.
That's what they all say.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We got quite a
comment.
episode lined up today. We're going to be geeking out about the Tron franchise.
Woo!
Well, I think we alluded to this episode being a few weeks in the making. Where we covered both movies, some of the awesome BluRay bonuses that kind of link the movies together, and this is just about the general overview of the Tron lore and the franchise and all that. But before we get into that, let's talk about some of the games we've been playing lately. Liz, what have you been playing?
I played one of the Castlevania games, the one where you ride a horse for the first 5 minutes of the game. And
Okay, the new Castlevania, yeah.
It went back to GameFly today.
Oh, no. I think it was, Lord of Shadows was the name of it?
I don't know, but when on easy, it takes me an hour and a half for the first 20 minutes of the game, and I still don't do it. There's no way I'm playing the whole game.
Oh, no.
There's no way. Like, I really, really, really wanted to like this game. Really, really, really wanted to play this game. An hour and a half for the first 20 minutes of the game, and I still haven't done it? No.
Wow.
Let's see. Angry Birds. All right, I will admit I'm a part of the Angry Birds following. Damn it.
Angry Birds Rio.
We were all watching you play on iPad a little earlier. It's pretty
Yes, and
entertaining.
I'm sure I was pretty entertaining,
Yep.
too.
Yeah, she was always, one more try. One more, just let me try one more time.
Liz, we've been at the restaurant for 3 hours.
But, no, we were not.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, we had to sign paperwork for a new apartment today.
Yes.
Huzzah!
Then, gosh, I can't think of the name of this last one I've been playing. I put a lot of time into it, too. What's it called again?
World of
Lotro. Lotro. That's right, it's Lotro. Found
Are you
it.
sure it
way.
wasn't World of Warcraft?
I think it was actually World of
She's
Warcraft.
giving me
Get
a
out of my
dirty
house.
look. Liz just gave me a
All
dirty
three of
look.
you
It
out.
was scary.
Scott sneak attacked and kind of installed it and just replaced the menus to make you guys are still thinking you're
Even
playing
this is my place,
Lord of the
too.
Rings Online.
I don't care.
I'm
You're
not
going to
alluding.
allude that I play that horrible game?
No, I'm not alluding to it. I'm saying it. What?
Out.
You can send your Liz fan mail to mailbag at ontappodcast.com, all you WoW players. All 12 million of you.
I think she does have a Sherlana at OnTap Podcast.
I think so, but I don't know how to access it, so if anyone's ever emailed me there, I never got it.
Just like I have a Roadkill, you have a Gruel.
I haven't
Scott has
accessed
a
that one.
Sniper Bait, but yeah, Scott's never on anymore.
He was on the last episode with Joey when Joey was. I apologize to anyone that was offended by Joey's nerd rage over the.
I still got to hear that, by the way.
PSN.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll have to find you the sample here and
let's
play it
talk
when
about
we're
PSN
done.
for a second, shall we? Come on.
Come on, Dale. Fill us in.
Well, it's still down.
They're down for like 2 weeks.
It's supposedly supposed to be coming back here. Maybe by the time you listen to this, it'll be back up.
They're reinventing it. They're starting from ground
Well-
up on new PSN.
Oh no, yeah, they're redoing its security and all that, and
Sure.
according to Sony, anyways. But
I hope you're enjoying this tangent as much as we are.
There was an article that I read that the Department of Homeland Security is now investigating PSN's breach, and I'm like, Sony in trouble.
yeah, they're not doing too good.
And the what, 2.4 million, 2.2 million, something like that, credit card numbers that is being auctioned off for $100,000 by the hackers.
Yeah, luckily for me, my credit card that was on my PSN account was already compromised around New Year's, so I never got around to updating it with my new credit card, so
nice.
I kind of lucked out.
What credit card was that? Like MasterCard or something?
I don't know.
And what was the number of that card?
555. No.
1212.
4343.
Yeah. But anything else you've been playing, Liz or Chris? You got anything?
Lord of the
No,
Rings.
Besides Game Dev Story, you're playing Game Dev Story.
Oh yeah,
Loving
Game Dev
that?
Story as well here. I
All
finished
right.
the game twice.
What's been the name of some of your guys' games? You guys have any?
Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4.
Really?
The default name is
She's
Game Number
very
1,
original.
Game Number 2.
Going with
All
the
of my
whole
games I've been actually naming
Emily
after real
Dickinson route
games.
there.
All of Lizz's creativity is going to
I
stay
had-
right
25,
now.
Game 26, Game 27.
I had Final Fantasy and it bombed.
Oh no!
I have had up to Game 53, and Game 53 still didn't win the grand prize.
Do they have an iPad version?
Yes.
Nice.
No,
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 Oh.
they don't.
Well, sort of.
It's the iPod version stretched to fit the screen.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's all distorted and pixelated.
It's not bad. I mean, if you think about the graphics of the
Yeah.
original game, honestly, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. They're all sprites. So.
So now that you guys have had the iPad for a few weeks, how do you like gaming on that compared to the iPhone?
I like
Angry
it.
Birds.
Way better.
Yes,
Angry
it's
Birds.
way better.
Yeah.
And
Liz
Robot
goes
Unicorn
crazy
Attack.
over
And air
Angry
hockey.
Birds.
Oh,
And air hockey. I pwned at air hockey.
There you go. Anything else, Chris?
No,
No.
that's it.
Irene, what have you been playing?
Oh, let's see. Oh, I recently got to play the Super Mario Brothers on the Wii.
Hey, there
That was
you
actually
go.
fun and good and retro. I think they took all the best aspects of.
We have it. It's right there.
Did you do any co-op stuff or just single player?
Well, I played it when I was babysitting a 3-year-old, so we did play co-op, but it was kind of.
You and the 3-year-old?
Yes, I was babysitting him.
3-year-old?
Yes, a 3-year-old. He could
Wow.
actually beat like a lot of the first world levels by himself.
Don't
It
underestimate
was kind of
the gaming
impressive.
skills of little kids. They
Wow.
got nothing else
It
better
was
to do.
quite impressive, actually. But the game was fun.
Nice.
And I played Psychonauts
Oh,
recently.
Oh,
there you go.
It's a
Tim
good
Schafer.
classic fun game.
I heard
You
it.
ever beat that one?
Not yet.
I only played it once briefly, but that's a pretty trippy game.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. I think the milkman is probably the creepiest, in my opinion.
Cool.
I'm the milkman. My milk is delicious.
Kind of scary.
He says that a lot through
No.
his dreamscape.
No.
Yeah, he kind of creeps me out.
Any other games?
Not lately.
Cool. All right. Well, I've only played just a few over the past week here. I
You
saw,
meaning 50 for Dale.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going over the past
you meaning
year?
50. Yeah. No.
What?
No. I saw Fast 5 earlier today, so I'm kind of getting.
That's not a game.
I wasn't done talking.
Oh.
I was gonna say, so it got me in the mood to play racing games. So I've been playing a bit of Need for Speed Most Wanted this past week, and that game kind of has like these live action video shots for its story cutscenes for the
Yeah.
game, and they're just all super cheesy, over the top, and for being a 360 launch game, it still holds up pretty good. Pretty damn fun. I've been playing. You guys will like this, the Gears of War 3 beta.
Nice. How do you like it?
It's really cool. I've been trying out a couple of the new weapons. They got this retro lancer, which is instead of the chainsaw, it has a bayonet, so you just charge a person and you instantly just stab them, instant death. It's a little trickier to pull off than a chainsaw kill, but it looks pretty damn cool. And they also have this new shotgun in there where it only one shot per clip, but it's better accuracy and wider range. So definitely cool checking out the new weapons and like some of the new
Cool.
modes. Like there's I think it's called like protect the leader, where or capture the leader, where the whole goal is to take a leader hostage and hold him hostage for like half a minute. So yeah, definitely digging the Gears of War 3 beta. Playing a little more Mortal Kombat. My tournament stick came in the mail, so I've been playing that a little bit.
So what'd you get on the 360 so you could play online, or the PS3 so you could play online?
Well, I know I got so I could play against Joey online, so because Joey got the 360 version, and then I also got MK versus DC on the 360, and that fight stick's pretty much only really optimized for MK because its fighting stick layout is different than like your average Street Fighter or Tekken games. So figure may as well get on 360. Other than that, a little bit more of the usual stuff, like with Pinball FX 2, playing that new Mars table that came out on there, and Call of Duty Black Ops continuing to suck online with some coworkers.
You should have got for the PS3. Then you won't be able to suck online.
People can send their Chris fan mail to mailbag@ontappodcast.com. No, that sucks with the whole PS3 thing, but
yeah, well, Sony they didn't help the situation at all.
But hopefully they'll be back online, and by the time you hear this,
yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, one more game, Trials HD. You got downloaded the new Extreme Levels pack, and I was telling Liz earlier before the show that if you like Angry Birds, where you can instantly try the level, respawn and try again and try again, you'll really like Trials HD because it's just a sick motorcycle obstacle course game, and they have checkpoints all over the place. So if you fail or crash, you can instantly retry within a millisecond, and it's just before you know it, you retried the same level over 100 times in 5 minutes. It's pretty addicting. So.
Sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, retrying levels over and over again sounds pretty addicting.
That's what you say now, but once you actually try it, you'll
Angry Birds is about like that, though.
Yeah.
Try again. No, let me try again.
3 stars.
I can do it this time.
3 stars. Oh! I almost got the angle.
Last try.
I got the angle. Oh, you stupid pig! Don't.
Just a little bit. I got it. No.
I want bacon tonight.
I have bacon in the fridge, and you can microwave 6 strips for 3 minutes.
Yes, I know.
Hi.
Yes.
Liz just recently discovered you could cook bacon in the microwave.
As I was telling Jason, Liz had bacon for Friday. Liz had bacon on Saturday.
Liz had bacon today.
Liz had bacon today.
Liz is gonna have bacon tomorrow.
Liz
had bacon on Sunday.
She's like one of those dogs with bacon strips.
Then we're going to buy more bacon.
Bacon!
Something smells like bacon. Let's bacon.
It's there in that microwave.
On my back, what's it say? I can't read. It's bacon. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
Anyway.
So without thinking of any other good segue to get onto the big Tron feature, how about that Tron?
They can't eat bacon.
Why did I not find it before a week ago?
All right, so I figured I'd just go around and ask you guys, what's your first memories of Tron? Which movie did you guys see first, or first memories of it? Irene, would you like to start?
Sure, mine's going to be pretty short. Liz invited me over about a week ago, to watch Tron. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'd never seen it before.
I would better see the second one first.
And then I wondered why I had never seen it before, because I thought it was amazing. And then between that and this time, we also watched Tron Legacy, which was also awesome. But that's my history. It goes back a week.
Yeah.
Flynn lives.
Flynn lives!
Yeah.
Does Flynn live? We
don't
won't know yet.
Liz
We'll
lives.
be discussing that.
All right, Chris, Liz, what's your guys' first
Chris, you start.
encounters with Tron?
I originally watched Tron. It might have been the late 80s, early 90s with my mom. She was a Tron fan, too.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, she actually liked Tron. I hadn't seen it.
Wait. Your mom?
Yeah, she liked it.
Did she even know what was going on?
I don't know. I have no freaking idea, but she liked it.
You don't need to know what's going on to enjoy that movie.
I never know what's going on in my mom's head. I don't think I want to.
No!
You're just thinking of the colors, that's all.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
Ooh, laser.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Why is their skin gray?
And then, when I heard Tron Legacies was coming out, actually, when I heard that it was going to be called Tron Legacy instead of Tron 2, like they advertised it a long time ago, I got the original Tron, and I made Lyzz watch it. And I was kind of afraid that she wouldn't like it because it's
kind of a little
kinda
sci-fi.
Kind of dated. And Lyzz ended up loving it. And
Well-
the music was very, very corny.
Oh my god, the music's so corny.
Isn't Highlander considered a little outdated? Lyzz is a fan of that.
Well-
I'm a Highlander geek for the first one. After the first
And we won't
one,
talk
they're
about
just
the next
painful.
ones.
Anything else to add, Liz, in your first exposure to
Well,
Tron?
about a week before Tron Legacy came out, Chris is like, so, I want to go see Tron Legacy. And I'm like, okay. And he showed me the previews on TV. I was like, that looks kind of interesting. I don't have any idea what's going on, but I kind of want to see it. And then he's like, well, here, let's watch the first Tron. And I'm like, okay, cool.
And you're like, there was a first one?
Yeah. and anyway, well, no, I knew that there was a first one because I
Oh,
used
did
to
you?
play, when I was a kid, I played the light bike game,
Oh, yeah,
but
when
I
I was
didn't
a-
know what it was called.
When I was a kid, I played in Showbiz Pizza, now called Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh, I did it in Pizza
I played
Hut.
the original Tron, like with the tanks and the.
Oh no, I only played the light bike
rectifiers.
race. I only
Okay.
played the light bike race, and where you don't want to touch the
Okay.
sides.
It's like Snake.
And I didn't know what it
Yes,
was
but
called.
single
It
player.
was just when I was looking at one of the previews for the first one, I was like, oh my god, it was Tron. It was a Pizza Hut. And
Yes. God.
anyway, it was just like, so we put this movie in, and I'm just like, I'm expecting it to be dated on the graphics because okay, the movie's older than I am.
It is.
It is.
Yes,
It's 82.
It is.
Oh yeah, it's
81 or
older than
82.
me too.
So
About 2
anyway, I'm
years.
watching it, and I'm just like, do they even know what those terms mean?
And we saw it later in an interview when we got Tron Classic on Blu-ray. Yes. Okay. Go finish it. Never mind.
I love you.
I'm
And,
confused.
after that, we went to see Tron Legacy in theaters, and I absolutely loved Tron, the original Tron. I think I watched it another once or twice before we went to see it in theaters. And we went to see the new one in theaters, and of course it was 3D. And we go ahead, and I'm like, all right, I can handle this. And we're seeing the previews before the movie, and I'm like, I'm loving the previews. I'm like, sweet, I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie. I
Is
want
that
to see that
Pirates of
movie.
the Caribbean 4?
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean 4, I'm kind of interested in that. But then Tron starts, and I'm sitting there with the 3D glasses on, like, okay,
Where's the 3D?
where's the 3D?
Yeah, of any
Yeah,
movie, you'd
I agree.
expect to have more 3D.
The
It's
only
Tron.
3D in the whole friggin' movie was the light bike race. There was more 3D.
I thought all the 3D stuff was only like the grid stuff. I
I
didn't
didn't
really
see it.
I didn't really notice it.
I couldn't see any. And I was just getting more and more angry as the movie progressed because I'm sitting there like, okay, well, so far it hasn't hit as much 3D as the Pirates of the Caribbean preview had.
I was hoping to see light bikes jump out at me
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
like, "Whoa!"
I know, right? And I'm just sitting there like, okay, seriously, Pirates of the Caribbean has more 3D than Tron?
Well, they even had that little disclaimer before the movie started. You guys remember, like,
Yeah, it was
only
like, this
certain
is a
scenes
two-dimensional
or shots
movie
in
and shot
3D.
in 3D, and you're sitting there like, well, then why are we watching it in 3D?
Because Disney made us add it in at the last minute so we can get money.
Yeah,
Yes.
so, I mean,
much.
we
$3
literally,
surcharge.
when
It
we
was a
left-
money suck, is what that was.
Oh, when we left at the end of the movie, I just looked at Chris, and I was like, I don't ever want to see this movie again.
I didn't like
It made me so
Tron
angry.
Legacies. I didn't like it in theaters at all.
The only reason I didn't like it was the friggin' 3D. I felt gypped. I was like, okay, I saw 10 seconds of 3D in this whole movie. And I paid $4 for that?
Mm-hmm.
For that? Are you freaking kidding me? It's all computer graphics. Why wasn't there more 3D? Like, I was so angry.
Yep. And
I
then
turned green.
I don't blame you.
and then we went to Midwest Gaming Classic, and on one of the tables, somebody was selling 25th anniversary Tron DVD
For
$30.
$30.
And we were seriously considering it.
Well, because on Amazon it was $180.
Yeah, we were
I was just like,
actually, we should have just
we
bought
should
it.
have bought it and put it on Amazon.
No, we should have bought it and just kept it. And then
Either or.
And then we found out that Tron Classic and Tron Legacies are coming out on Blu-ray. And we
Yeah, the
wanted
guy
it.
at the table that was selling it told us.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like,
And-
you obviously don't want to sell this then.
And we wanted Tron, the first one, and we're like, okay, if we buy the first one, we gotta buy the second one just
because it's a set.
'Cause it's the second one, yeah. And Tron, the original Tron, we got on Blu-ray. They actually did a really good job at cleaning it up for high definition.
And they added some of the scenes that they weren't able to put in the 80s.
Yep.
And you can see that, like, the flyovers in the intro are just amazing. It's like, oh my god, none of this was there before.
Wow.
Wow.
And then we popped in Tron Legacies to give another try. Or I can't remember when.
I think it was the day after we watched the original Tron.
Oh, we decided
again,
to watch
and we're
Legacies.
like, okay, we're going to give this one more try.
And then we actually liked it.
And we're sitting here and we're like, hey, I didn't notice that before, and I didn't notice this before, and I didn't, and this, and this, and that, and it just...
Don't have the 3D goggles distracting you.
Yeah, and I think the 3D goggles just take away so much from the movie that you're sitting there looking and straining, trying to find the 3D, that you miss the movie.
I remember walking out of the movie thinking, it was a good movie, but yeah, 3D, blah.
And I think I've watched the Blu-ray like 3 times so far.
I think I've seen the Blu-ray 5 times.
I think, which
I
version
don't
of
own
the
it, but I
Blu-ray-
totally believe that.
Which version of the Blu-ray did you guys buy? Did you get the
non-3D.
collector's
Non-3D?
edition?
No, not collector's, because that only comes with a 3D edition.
Okay.
Collector's edition. Well, no, the collector's edition was an extra $20,
I think
and
it's-
all you got was
Oh, yeah,
3D
that's
with
right.
it.
I think you got the 3D,
It was 3D
and you got a
3D.
2D version, and you also got like a Tron disc with it.
Nope. Not a Best Buy.
Not at Best
Oh,
Buy.
was it? Okay. I remember.
Basically, it was we could get the one we got for $30,
Yeah.
or we could pay $50 to get the 3D one with the 2D one.
Yeah. Which was the one that came with the disc? Because I remember
There was
The
some
disc.
super,
there was like a super deluxe edition. That was
Yeah.
but it was only 3D.
okay.
That's what it was. It did not have a 2D movie with
And I
it.
think it was internet only.
Yep, and I
No,
wanted
they had
that
they
one.
had a version there because I was there with Matt when.
Yeah, but it
he's
was
like, that's-
3D only. was the
Okay, now
problem.
I think I remember him telling me. I think he had to buy 2 copies, so he had to buy like a 2D copy also.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's why we were just like, we're not gonna, spend the money just for the disc, because, you know what, honestly, in 10 years, you'll probably be able to find that disc on Amazon, and we'll have more space in our home to display it.
Or people will be using it for frisbees and you catch one and keep it.
Yeah. So, I was kind of frustrated with how they marketed this time. I think that disc one, the one that came with the data disc, I think it would have sold so much better if they'd sold the 3D and the 2D with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have that full package. Okay, charge an extra $10 for it, but then you're going to sell more of it.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
figure
rather
there's-
than the bullcrap of, oh, the collector's edition has 3D and 2D for an extra $20. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah. That's them just trying to get more, trying to rape your wallet more.
Yeah, and it made me really upset because I've just gotten turned off of 3D movies because I go to them and I don't see any 3D. All I have when I walk away is a migraine from those glasses, and I haven't seen any 3D.
Yeah, I went to How to Train Your Dragon. I went to that one in 3D. The most impressive 3D was snow. There was like a scene where snow was just lightly falling, and the snow was brilliantly 3D, and that was...
And that was it.
Well, the flying scene was pretty cool, but I'm not sure if it's because it was the flying scene or if it was 3D.
Right,
Couldn't tell you
whereas,
that.
like Avatar, in the very beginning of Avatar, you've got the water dripping,
Yeah, the water droplets were in 3D.
and then,
You can actually
again,
see
you've got
them.
the flying scene, but I don't know if it's the awesomeness of the flying scene, or if it's the 3D.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think if they're going to continue making these 3D movies, they really need to do it right.
You need to stop doing a half-ass job just to plant a 3D
Just to
label
say 3D
on it.
and make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but I'm tired of wasting my money. I'm not going to go see any more movies that are 3D.
Yeah, I've only been to like 6 or 7 3D movies, and I can only think of 2 scenes out of 2 of them that really jumped out at me.
Yeah.
And one of them was like Piranha 3D, which is
Huh.
just a stupid scene where they show this sailboat collapsing because of the piranhas getting to it, and like there's this like this part of a sail that whips across the screen and whips right at. Then like, oh, that's the first time anything in 3D actually looked cool.
Yeah, and
it
I
was
mean,
off freaking Piranha 3D.
look what almost happened here. I mean, and I'm sure there are other customers nationwide that went and saw Tron 3D and just walked away,
Yeah.
just really upset that they just wasted their money.
Completely disappointed and underwhelmed.
And they're just like, okay, wait a minute, this is completely computer generated.
Well, it's not completely computer generated. Not as much
The
as
special
first one.
effects, every special effect It's completely computer generated. We're living in an age where they can film it with 3D cameras. And obviously they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you're not going to do it right on this movie and you potentially lost sales nationwide, do something about it.
But I guess before we get super hardcore in depth about all the Tron movies here,
Dale, how about your history of Tron?
I'll say my. I'll just give a quick little
Sorry, I
thing
went off
about
on
my
my tangent about 3D.
Yes, now that
that's no
Liz is
problem.
done with her ranting.
Yeah.
Dale's never even seen
Well,
Tron.
I think he gave I think he gave Joey's rage about PSN last
Run for his
episode a
money.
run for its money. Yeah.
Oh, should I keep going?
No, I think
when we get to
we
Tron
already-
Legacy again, you'll
We already moved to Dale. Liz, it's his turn.
What?
No, stop it.
I guess see, I didn't see both of the Tron movies until like maybe about half a year ago, but I remember hearing of Tron over the years, just people referencing it because it's kind of part of American culture. Just kind of always hearing people reference it and like its quotes and Flynn's arcade and all that and the games. I always remember hearing of the games, but like at E3 2003 when we were writing Chris for G2X.
Yep.
Back in the G2X days, so I was rooming with John and Forrest, and I think we were going back to the hotel after the convention one day, or we were just having a few beers outside, I think the hotel pool, and a couple other guys were coming and going to the hotel, and we're kind of talking to this one guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're here for E3 also?" "Yeah, what are you here for?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm part of the team working on the Tron killer app game."
Okay.
And
I have that game, but I never played it.
Yeah, it was 2003, and that game I think came out that fall, and it was Tron 2.0 killer app, and ignorant me, not even really seeing the movies or being super familiar with Tron at the time, I was just like, I guess I haven't heard of that one, and both the guys just kind of looked at me and were just like, what?
What?
And Forrest, I know Forrest was really big into PC. He's like the big PC game writer for the website. And I was like, oh yeah, he covers all the PC games. And they just continued to look at me with all their jaws dropped. And it's just, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I've never heard of Tron. So, and I didn't get around to watching. I think within a few weeks before Tron Legacy came out, I was Matt had me watch. I think it was a Tron BluRay. It could have been the DVD. I don't remember, but
It had been the DVD. The Blu-ray wasn't released until it came out in 2-pack.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just finally watched the original Tron like weeks before Tron Legacy hit, and I saw the movie in the theaters. So yeah, so that is my history with Tron. Getting embarrassed by one of its developers of the games.
Tron?
So let's just
What is this Tron?
let's kind of just march through the movies here. The original Tron. You guys said you just watched it on Blu-ray again here, so that must
Like
have
a
been
week ago?
yeah, that must have been pretty damn cool re-experiencing.
It
Like
was.
I said, with all the new visual effects upgrades and all that. Anything that stood out particular the most from what
Mickey Mouse.
the HD transfer?
Because we just discovered that tonight.
Gotta love the Easter eggs.
Hidden Mickey.
It's a scene where they're flying on
It's
the
when
simulation.
Tron pulls Flynn up onto the train, and he says, "Where's Ram?" And Flynn goes, "Ram didn't make it." And they're walking back, and then it zooms out, and the train flies over Mickey.
A Mickey Mouse.
You
head,
can't,
yes.
if you're actually looking for below the train, you can't miss him.
No.
But you do miss him because you're focusing on Tron and Flynn.
And the
Yes.
laser.
The
And
glowing
the laser,
guys.
the glowing parts.
Stuff, yeah.
Yes.
The glowing parts.
Okay, so Tron is about this
It's
guy, Kevin Flynn. He creates. Oh, spoiler alerts.
spoilers.
Oh,
Spoilers.
Okay, if you don't want to hear spoilers, shut your computer off.
You may want
Now,
to turn off.
We're going to
if you
just
haven't seen
tell
either
you all
Trons.
about the movies
You're going to
in
be
this
spoiling
podcast.
shit out of them.
Yeah, we're doing spoilers for a 30-year-old movie. Spoiler.
Flynn owns a badass arcade.
He does.
He does.
Oh, Flynn.
Actually, it is pretty badass.
Yeah, I want to go to Flynn's.
Yeah.
He plays so hardcore that he gets armpit sweats.
It's like he's holding a football under each arm there.
Yeah.
He's like the super geek.
He invents this video game, but it's stolen by a guy named Dillinger.
Space paranoids.
Paranoids, yes. And Anyway, Dillinger he fires him and takes everything. Takes his game and everything. Credits his own.
Dillinger gets promoted.
Yeah, again and again and again.
Poor Flynn gets fired for not being productive or something.
I think he got fired because Dillinger knew that he'd stolen from him and, wanted to protect himself.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so there's this big master control unit. Or
Master control program.
Master control program?
MCP. Yes, MCP.
MCP, yeah, okay.
He's kind of like the big bad artificial intelligence guy. He acquired all these other programs and assimilated them, kind of like the Borg does. He's huge. I mean,
that's a good analogy, I guess.
He's the program.
Yep.
Anyway, him and Flynn, they have this thing. Flynn tries hacking him. He doesn't like it. He swats Flynn down. Flynn keeps on trying to hack him, trying to get evidence that he made these programs and Dillinger is stealing them.
And the master computer has... What was the term? He...
Derezzed?
No, he arbitrated them.
Oh. I don't remember.
But assimilated them.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, it means the same thing.
It means the same thing. And Dillinger asked the master control program, why can't you just assimilate? I don't know the word. And the master control program is, I did. He's still trying to find it.
Acquisitioned.
Acquisition, yeah, that's the word. And
apparently
those
master
two do
control
not mean
program,
the same thing.
Assimilate and acquisition do.
No, assimilate means to adjust to your new surroundings. Acquisition means to buy or purchase.
No, that's adapt. Assimilate means to take something.
Assimilate and
to
adapt
take control.
mean the same thing.
Assimilate is to take control. The Borg
Assimilate and
assimilate.
adapt are more
Borg assimilate people. They
than,
take control of them.
Acquisition. They're both the same thing with dealing with the government.
Okay, anyway.
Well, you're right about that.
Anyway.
We're not going to finish this show until May 3rd, by the way.
At the rate we're going.
It's only 2.5 hours away.
What were we talking about now?
the proof about space paranoids. Flynn created
the master control program.
So, meanwhile, in another part of NCOM, something.
NCOM. ENCOM.
Yes. They invented this laser that can digitize anything and bring it into the grid or the computer world. Or
because
the Matrix,
back in the
whatever you
80s,
wanna
we
call it.
believed lasers could do anything.
Yes.
They can do anything.
And they look cool.
They are
And
cool.
they look cool, yes.
Well, they do look cool.
They do.
Anyway.
I'll give you that.
So Flynn somehow just happens to end up in a workstation right in front of this laser. And the MCP is like...
Well, no, the laser... I think the laser was originally turned around away from him. I think the MCP turned it.
Well, it wasn't aimed at him, I think, and it just kind of like...
I think the MCP... It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't aimed at him. I think the MCP actually aimed it.
Well, then
no, I think it
somehow
was
he
pointed
ended up
like
in a
in his
workstation
direction,
in the vicinity
and
of it.
then like the MCP like made it so that it was actually aimed at
Right.
Flynn.
Yeah, I mean, but the MCP actually did have to adjust it.
Right.
So the MCP digitized Flynn and put him in the game grid where they play... Games.
Tron Olympics.
Yes, the
I
Tron
like to call
Olympics.
And he basically, the MCP tells his main program, Sark, that I've brought a new program for you to...
No, he told Sark it was a
Sark
user.
knows he's a user.
He's telling him, I have an interesting project for you. I need him basically destroyed. And Sark goes, oh, what kind of program is it? And he goes, it's not a program, it's a user.
It's a user.
And so you begin to hear about this religion within the grid as well.
Yeah, like users are gods.
And, the whole idea is the MCP is trying to stamp the idea of users out of programs. Because you don't worship your user, you worship me.
Yep.
So. He wants to be the Mac Daddy intelligence.
Yes. He wants to be the Big Mac Daddy.
They are the highest entity.
Yes. Anyway, he meets another program, or he meets a program named Tron.
And he also meets another program named Ram.
Yes, and he meets another program named Yuri. But she plays a small part.
She plays a small part, but she's also very vital.
She's like the token female, kind of.
And
yes.
She gets them from point A to point B. And then
she
from
does
point
do
B
that.
to point
Quite
C.
literally.
And point C to point D.
No, Flynn does the point C to point D.
No, Yuri guides them first.
Redirecting the laser.
No. First, Yuri takes them to the dude that contacts the users.
Yes.
Then Yuri gets them on the
old
train.
guy.
Then Flynn directs the laser, and then Yuri guides it again.
And then they fall into Sark's ship.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a good movie. What's his name?
Alan.
Alan.
is the maker of Tron.
Alan Bradley, who is nowhere affiliated with the
Milton
PLC
Bradley?
maker. No, or Melton Bradley.
He didn't make Monopoly.
Damn it.
I know that was Parker Brothers.
But he's cursing himself too.
Forgot what I was saying again.
Talking about
Alan Bradley.
Oh yeah, Alan makes Tron. Tron is his program. So, when Flynn goes into the grid, he meets Alan's program, Tron.
And they planned it that way. That was a big thing I noticed. Like, they had a plan in the first movie.
To bring down the MCP.
Yes.
Yes, but they didn't know that Flynn was going into the computer.
No, but there still was a plan in place. It was just kind of an extra variable added in there.
They knew that Flynn was in there. Well,
Right.
they didn't, but they did.
Right. Anyway, they had a plan in place.
That they were acting upon.
Yes.
I don't think anybody but the MCP knew that Flynn was in the game.
I don't think anybody ever knew
and
that he was
Sark.
in there.
Nobody on the outside world did.
He
No,
just
but-
Not
vanished.
even at the end.
No, it's more like Flynn was
No.
helping Tron execute the plan, basically.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even
I mean, there was
after. In the aftermath,
Right.
I don't think Flynn ever told anyone.
He might have
Or
told
if they did,
Alan,
I don't know if they believed him.
And at the very beginning of the movie, Flynn made a program named Clue to search for his lost data.
This is important later.
And the MCP destroys Clue.
Dereses him.
Dereses
Yeah,
Clue.
derez. That term just sounds so badass.
Derez.
Derez. I'm going to derez you from the grid. Derez.
Yes, and the graphics and the soundtrack. Well, the soundtrack's just really corny on the first Tron.
It's 80s.
The graphics.
For its time, those special
For
effects were in a
times.
league of their own. They blew away Star Wars.
Yes, but this movie also wasn't eligible for any movie awards because it was computer-based graphics.
And they didn't have awards for them yet.
No, well,
At the
They
time,
said that it was cheating.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The makers of Tron cheated, is
by
what they
using
said.
computers
Oh, by
instead
using-
of yeah.
Oh, they weren't accepted yet as the new standard.
Right, and
Right.
I when Chris told me that, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because this movie would have blown anything else away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you have a good point.
It was amazing for its time.
It was.
And even watching,
little
some
bit like
of it
Star
kind of looks a
Wars.
little cheesy, but it still looks pretty cool.
And there's on Tron Classic Blu-ray there's interviews and stuff, and I watched through those, and they said that the uniforms that they used was just spandex and some knee pads put on their shoulders.
Yeah, it was kind of like this weird dirt bike outfit. Kinda.
Well, yeah, they were motocross
Yeah.
pads and everything.
But with funky neon
But-
glow in the dark lights or something.
But they said that they told all the cast members I guess wherever they were, the studios had a restaurant or a cafeteria downstairs, and they told them, now make sure you wear a bathrobe or something because that is spandex you're wearing and stuff does show.
Everything shows.
Yeah.
I don't think the suits for the second movie were spandex, were they?
No.
Probably not.
It looked like all leathery.
Yeah, they look like leathery. I'm not sure what.
Pleather.
Pleather. Yes.
Pleather.
I don't know. I'm
Leathery.
guessing.
Not sure what they were made of, but I'm sure they're not. They might have had spandex
Looked like they came
beneath
out
them, but
like the X-Men movies, kind of like
Yeah,
their
they do.
uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did look
But
a lot like those.
way slicker.
Yeah, because they
And
said in the
flashier.
making of Legacy that the actors and actresses who did the acrobatics had even more work because of the suit. Well, if they were wearing spandex, they wouldn't have had that much trouble
Yeah.
because spandex is just a second skin.
Right. It's
So
very
it
easy to
can't
move
be
in.
spandex.
Yeah, if it makes stunts hard to do,
It's not spandex.
harder to do.
So
Yeah.
is it?
So what?
We got really off
he's
track
trapped
there.
inside the grid.
He's trapped inside the grid.
Back to the first movie,
back to
right?
The first movie.
Yeah.
I think we're
Okay.
still on the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he distracts MCP so that Tron can finally kill him. Well,
We're not going to tell you how he distracted MCP.
Oh, I thought it was full of spoilers. It's spoilers.
Yeah, he jumps in the MCP beam. There you go.
I said we. I didn't say he. I said we. Because I didn't say.
I have no fear of spoiling anything for you.
Yeah, we already said spoilers ahoy. So listen at your own risk. Yeah, I mean, I just remember looking back on the first Tron. You know, even for just seeing it for the first time, like almost 20 years after it came out, it's still an awesome movie. And being one who's familiar with computers a little bit, I get a little kick out of its terminology and the fact that they're, like you said, Liz, they were using terms like DOS and ISOs back in the early 80s.
Oh, and the little pet bits.
Oh yeah,
The
those
bit.
are bit.
And they
Do
only
you
have
think we
yes
should
and
do
no.
this bit?
Yes, no.
Yes, no.
How's my driving? No.
She doesn't handle well in town, does she? No. And it actually said in the interview too with the guy who played Alan Bradley and Flynn. They said that they had no idea what any of this stuff meant. In fact, on the script, they actually showed the script. They had to write down the word, and then in parentheses they put the phonics of the word, how to pronounce it.
Wow.
Good thing they did that.
Yeah.
Like MEM''RY. Memory.
What, really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that word was around way before computers.
Well,
Yeah,
it
but
was,
how
but-
you would say it in context to a computer compared to how you would say it in context to like a book or a newspaper.
Or like your memory.
Yeah.
I thought
See,
it
back
was the
then,
same, but
you
whatever.
Memory instead of memory.
Memory.
But if you say so, I think I say it the same. But
So bit would be like,
Just bit.
well, because bit is BYTE, isn't it?
no, that's
Bite.
bite.
Oh,
Bit is
okay.
BIT.
Oh, okay. So bit would have been okay then.
Yeah, they're both computer terms, but they're different.
I was saying before the
Bit
show,
and bite.
people
Bits and
who
a bite.
probably saw that movie when it came out probably had no idea what ISOs or RAM.
Well, ISO didn't come. They didn't make
Okay.
any mention of ISO in the first.
Or you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, like the RAM or whatever the hell the terms they were using, the computer vernacular they were using in the first movie was probably going over a huge chunk of the the audience's head. But the fact that it sounded cool was all that matters.
Yep.
And it was flashy. They used
Yes.
lots of bright colors.
Exactly.
So it was fun to watch.
Think I can merge with this memory bank bit? Yes.
So let's get into Tron Legacy. It's 20 years later, and they kind of have like early scene like a few years after the original movie.
Yep. Where Kevin was
It
talking
was
to
like
his son
5 years
Sam
after.
Yeah.
and telling him about the grid and all his adventures, and that one day he will be a member of the grid.
And he's telling him the story about one day when he was on the grid, something miraculous happened. And Sam kind of leans forward. He goes, "What was it, Dad?" "Well, I'll tell you that next time, Sam. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Tomorrow we're going to go to the arcade and we're going to play doubles." And that I think it's a very foreshadowed line when Sam asks his dad, "Are we going to be on the same team, Dad?" And Flynn turns around and he smiles and he says, "We're always on the same team."
What do you mean you think that was a foreshadowed line? That was totally a foreshadowed line.
That was.
Yeah, and I also like when he's like introducing these characters, Clue and Tron to his son through the little figurines. And his son is like, "Tron! He fights for the users!" And Clue! And what does Clue stand for again?
Something likeness utility. I can't remember.
I can't remember what C stands for.
I don't know.
But, yeah, Clue actually stands for something.
Yeah, he actually made another program named Clue
In his own image.
in his own image.
And that's what ended up getting him in trouble.
Yes, it was.
Because of the command he gave this. But
Did
we'll
it
talk about that later.
Cloned likeness utility because
Maybe.
it was him.
That could
Maybe.
be cloned like this utility.
I don't know. It's close. It's
I thought it
something
was-
like that.
I thought it was cool how it showed him creating them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk
And-
about that when we get to it.
I thought we're kind of on it, so
Oh,
that's why I
okay.
brought it up.
And it's not that easy to make a program, trust me.
Well, it might be for a user inside.
No,
you don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got it. Like, in the grid, it's
different. Just like on the outside, it's different. You know, they were talking about destroying Flynn at one point.
Flynn seems to do things pretty easily when he's actually inside the grid.
Yes,
but that's because he created that grid.
Mm-hmm.
He created that grid and everything in it except for Tron and a few other programs. Everything else was something he created. Which means if, that's what Sam was talking about, if I can just get out, I can delete whatever with a single keystroke.
Right.
But in the grid, he couldn't. There were certain things that on the grid it was easier to manipulate, like the elevator scene.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was, you know, you're sitting on the teeth, on the edge of your seat, like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. And, you know,
Well,
there's
of course
Flynn
they're
just
gonna
sitting
live.
there,
They're the main
like,
actors.
you know, messing with the wall of the elevator.
Yeah, he makes an access control unit or access panel right
On
there
the
out
elevator.
out of nothing. It was cool.
Well, and
rather
Flynn,
Jedi, actually.
Yes.
Flynn was one of those things that, you know, on the grid, he was a god. Like, when he walked
Yep.
into End of Line Club, all the programs that were on his side were literally, they were on their knees praying to him.
Mm-hmm.
The programs that were on Clue's side were just like,
Uh-oh.
oh, we're screwed. I mean, you could see it. It was palpable how they recorded that scene and just how he swept into the room and swept out.
That was very Jedi-like, too.
Yes,
It was
yes,
very
it was
Jedi-like.
very Jedi-like.
His entrance with his whole black, silver-lined cloak thing, it was like, the Jedi Master has arrived.
Yes.
And
He was their Darth Vader.
Sam, you're messing with my Zen thing, man.
that's my
Yes,
favorite.
I
line.
knew it! He is a Jedi!
But no, I did like, you mentioned when he created Clue. I did like that scene because it showed, and he goes, you will create the perfect system. And Clue responds, I will create the perfect system.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, Clue's telling him, I did everything you asked of me. And Flynn goes, I know, I'm sorry. You know, kind of I screwed up.
Not bad.
I said I didn't know what perfect was when I made you, so of course you didn't know either.
And then,
But one of my favorite parts is when Clue was going to turn on Flynn. He said, "Flynn, am I still the creator of the perfect system?" Flynn just looks at him and was like,
yeah.
With his whole, kind of like a question. I thought it was more like a question, like,
That's kind of how I took it too.
why do you ask?
And then they noticed, I'm sure at that point, they were like, why is he orange all of a sudden?
"Yeah,
Wait a minute, on the grid,
right.
orange is the bad guys.
right."
Although Clue is kind of yellowish.
Yeah,
he was like a
He was
orangish yellow.
He was a
was.
combination between blue and the orange.
Between yellow and orange.
Orange and
blue and orange.
Clue?
What?
Yeah, because the color of his orange was different.
Yeah, it was different.
It was
Blue and
It was
orange.
more like
Blue and orange is green, hon. But
Well.
yes.
Meh.
Blue and yellow
yeah.
is green.
Anyway.
So I really thought like the Tron Olympics, for lack of a better term. I was really looking forward to see how they'd make the next generation leap into the Tron Legacy, and I thought those were really well done.
They did.
And
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
And I like that how they covered up Tron's name at the beginning by calling him Rinsler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they had to do something because Tron was supposedly destroyed. And Tron was known for fighting for the user.
Right.
So the program had to have a champion.
Yeah, and Tron might have like recovered himself if he'd actually heard
Been
the name.
called
I
Tron.
guess.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
I
mean,
mean,
there is a power to
they
the
didn't
name.
want to take any chance.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there is a certain power to a name. I mean, with it comes all the memories that are associated with it. I really like, we were watching the bonus features. I really like the crowds at the Tron Olympics when they were crying Disc Wars or Rinsler or D-Rez. I didn't realize that was actually something recorded at Comic-Con. And they're like, okay, you're going to follow the dot. And if we do this really well, it's going to be in the movie.
Badass.
And they were showing, like, they would go between the Comic-Con room to the scene and show how they had put that in there. And it was just amazing. That, you know,
So
they
wish you
basically
could have
had
been
fans in
there.
Yep.
Yes!
That is an awesome
Rinsler.
shout out to the fans.
Rinsler!
You're like, okay, this cheer's going to go a little bit slower. I actually don't remember what that.
Disc Wars.
Disc
It
Wars.
was Disc Wars, and then it was Rinsler, and then it was slow Rinsler, because there was time for the clapping.
Right.
And it was D-Res, D-Res, D-Res.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That was awesome that
Yep.
they included the fans like that.
That was really cool.
But going back to the games, I like the first ones where they had the field, I guess, suspended, and you could win. You didn't have to like hit the other player with your disc to win. There was actually it was a lot of strategy more than like strength or skill.
Yeah, definitely, and
or at least you could use more strategy.
What angle do I need to hit this at in order to hit what I want to hit?
Oh, and the one where the gravity changed, like on a regular basis, I was not expecting that. That was cool.
Well, you could tell Sam wasn't expecting it either.
Yeah. Right, and then you see
Bam!
And then you see Sam's opponent like start to run toward the wall. What the hell is he doing? And then suddenly,
Sam's like, what are you doing?
And then suddenly Sam's on the ceiling going, "What happened? Ow!"
And then the second time is when they realize that he's a user, and it's like,
because he was actually bleeding.
yes,
And programs do not bleed.
programs. If he had been nicked like that, he would have de-resed.
Right,
Right,
or
but
at least
that-
partially.
That arena reminded me a lot of the Blitzball arenas in Final
Oh,
Fantasy.
yeah.
A lot. of those.
Really?
Yeah. Because they were kind of
say so.
suspended in there.
That was really the only thing. But
And they had that giant scoreboard above it. And it was a
Although
huge
they-
arena.
although the Blitzball did have, it was kind of on a 2D field, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, technically it was suspended in like a ball, but
A ball
when you
of
actually
water.
played it, it was just 2D. They just
Yep,
played it
it
like
was.
it was on a 2D field.
Yeah, it reminded me of Blitzball. And then they found out that Sam Flynn was a user. Then they took him to the Light Racer grid. And that's where he meets...
Well, no. First, they took him to the mysterious stranger watching the shows.
yeah, who ended up to be Clue.
But initially, Sam thinks this is my dad, and he's like,
Because he sees him and is like, "Hey,
Dad!
I recognize you!
"Oh my God, you're still alive!" And
You haven't aged at all."
yeah, and then he says, Clue says or does something that kind of clues Sam in.
Oh, it was
And Sam's like,
the message.
no,
page.
no, it wasn't even that. It was, and Sam asked why. He goes, "I'm not your father."
Yeah.
And at that point, Sam's like,
Okay, this is weird.
"What?" And then it hits him that his father had told him that he'd created this program in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, "Well, what did you do to my father?" "Same thing I'm going to do to you."
Except he didn't.
Yeah. So,
Oh, what
Off
was...
to the awesome.
off to the light races.
Yeah.
When he originally ended up in the arena and he was fighting that one dude, he said something like, "I have a less demented form of you on my wall."
No, I
Somewhere.
have
Figurine.
a friendlier version of you on my shelf or
Something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, because he has a version of Tron.
Right. Well, no, it
Right.
wasn't Tron. It was one of the other.
It was Tron. It
No.
had the T in it.
No, he wasn't talking to Tron at that point. It was the guy with the weird makeup under his eyes.
No. The statue he had at home
I have
was
to
Tron,
agree
though.
with Liz, though. No, he had a couple at
He
home.
had a few statues.
Yeah, but he had Tron at home,
Yes,
too.
but he had a few statues.
He had
wasn't
Tron,
referring to
and
the
he
Tron
had
statue.
Tron, and he had others. And
He was referring. There was an actual statue with the weird eye makeup under his eyes.
I don't remember. Did he
Yes.
ever say the name of that one, or was it just
That one
like,
got
"Oh,
de-rezzed
it's just
like
you"?
No, there was a name. You could see when you looked at the scoreboard, somebody versus unknown. It showed his name.
Right.
No, okay.
But
yeah.
no, that's who he was talking about when he was like, "I have a smaller version of you on my shelf." And it's like, actually, I think you're probably smaller than that version now. So it would be a bigger version. Oh.
Yeah, look, you're
And
my
the light
size now.
races, I do have to say, in the Tron Legacy, the light bike races were amazing.
They were amazing.
I loved it.
Yes,
it
they were
went-
fun to watch.
Without having to use three-dimensional glasses, it went three-dimensional because it was left, right, straight, forward, up, and down.
Yeah, they did a really good job of that.
The blue programs actually said their bikes are faster than ours. We have to use the levels.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yeah, that's what they
go
said.
for the
Oh,
levels.
okay.
Use the levels.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I kind of missed that part. All I caught was
the
there's
bikes are faster than ours.
the brakes are faster. Blah, 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 blah.
Then
What?
Then they said,
What?
use the levels, kid.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch. I thought it was just like some form of.
And I think I
Yeah, I don't
remember-
even know. I guess I thought it was some kind of like, not exactly a note of encouragement. It's like, oh, we're dead.
The first time I watched it,
But
it
it
looked
wasn't.
like they were running away.
I want to say, I think I remember.
I figured it was just them like taking up their spaces on the board, like they both start from
See,
different
that's what I
ends or
kind of
something.
thought is getting momentum.
And they did get momentum from it.
They did.
It looks like, yeah.
And
But the transformation with the light bikes was amazing.
Oh yeah, that
It
was so
awesome.
cool.
This is in the interview from Tron Classic, the guy said that this is how he wanted the original light bikes to be, but due to the limitations of computers, they couldn't do it. Because he originally wanted the helmets of the people to be part of the aerodynamics of the bike,
wow.
and they couldn't do that with their limitations.
Well, and one thing that I did not like about the light bike race, though, and we're like totally monopolizing this away from Dale. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. You guys just saw these movies again, like in the past week. It's been like half a year for me, so this is cool hearing your guys' perspective.
Yeah, another thing that I did not like about the light bike races, though, and I mean, I loved the races. It was one of my favorite parts of the movie. But something I didn't like is in the original Tron, if a program hit the light path of a bike, he was derezed. Period. End of story.
Just like the game Snake.
And
Right.
they're blind.
And in Tron Legacy, Clue, it's just Clue and Sam left on the board. Mm-hmm. And at this point, when Cora brings the light
runner or whatever.
Whatever it is, I think it's the light runner. When she comes in, Clue hit her light trail and did not derez.
Right. He
Well,
have
it might
jumped,
be because
though.
it
I
was
don't know.
Clue.
See, I don't know, but Clue's a program.
Right.
Or is he?
So
No, he is.
a program is created such that when they hit that light trail, they should derez. It doesn't matter who that program is, what that program's abilities are. Mm-hmm. They should derez.
Oh, but the another blue one did that kind
no, he
of.
didn't. He
what
didn't
happened
hit
with
the light
him?
trail. He ran over the body that was derezing.
Oh, okay.
then
And
he ran.
so he didn't actually hit something that would cause him to derez. He destabilized his bike. And so he was like, oh crap, and he lost it.
And then he slid into a wall.
No, he didn't slide into a wall. He rolled to a stop some 40 or 50 feet away from his light bike.
Yeah, and then Sam picked it up, and then...
But Clue landed on him and derezed him.
Well, Clue took his... Didn't he take the disc? Yeah, he took his disc and hit him.
No, he jumped over or out of a level, came down right on top of the guy.
I think he took his disc out.
He took his disc out for two others.
Oh, okay.
He took his disc out for the one going up the spiral, and then he was going to use his disc on Sam. That's when Sam got his disc out.
Well,
and got into Sam's.
did Clue create the games?
No, Clue
No.
didn't create the games. The games were created
The
long
games would have
before.
been created in the original Tron, and it would have been one of the things that would have been brought over
Okay,
with just better tracks, basically.
Yeah.
right.
And I'm not sure, like, how the games would have been brought
And a
back
mirror
because
mode
I'm
once you
sure.
beat the 150cc levels.
Well, and I'm sure that
Unlock the extra.
I'm sure that Flynn didn't intend for the games to be used the way they were, but this is how it ended up being used.
Right. Like,
Well,
they were
into
fun
their-
games for a user to play.
Right.
Ended up turning into their own war game, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah, their own gladiator
it's like the old classic,
arenas.
anime cartoon of Reboot, if you ever
Yep.
seen that.
Oh, that was a
I
good
remember
one. I
that.
like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
That's right. And the games open up and
Yeah.
they're like, game! And then,
but yeah, like I said, that's
Yeah.
the only part of the game, or of the light cycle race that I didn't like, was that it...
Yeah, Flynn didn't derez, but maybe he jumped off of his bike.
Well, Flynn isn't going to derez because he's a user.
Or not Flynn, sorry,
Clue.
Clue.
I don't know. Maybe he saw it in time and skidded so that he didn't hit it with full force.
I don't
Like
know.
maybe there's something about the force that's used in hitting the light path.
That's it. We're sending an email to Disney to find out the
Yes.
answers.
Yeah. How was it that Clue survived?
by the power of plot convenience,
I thought a
I
cool
have
thing
the plot device.
About
Yes.
that light cycle race was that they had kind of like a little shout out to the original light cycle race in the original Tron when they blasted out that wall for the escape there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. It's like, oh, there we go, old
Yep.
school Tron shout
And
out.
then you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it.
Made it.
rescued by
and then
what's her name?
that line also comes into effect later on too when they hop into the airplane.
Yeah, when Sam uses that flying thing.
Oh yeah.
Cora's like, "You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it." And Sam turns to her and he's like, "Made it."
That's right. I never noticed that. I'll have to pay more attention.
But then after the light bike, Cora, who's also 13 on House.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all
looks
like
totally
watching
different.
the interviews, and we're like, she looks so familiar.
Recognize
and then
her.
The three of us, 13.
Yes.
She was quite the cool character.
She was.
Cora, yeah. She was the last. There's the miracle that Kevin Flynn was talking about was isometric organisms.
Isometric algorithms.
Yeah, algorithms. Sorry.
They randomly formed on the grid the way it was. They were actual life forms.
Mm-hmm.
Actual sentient life forms formed from the computer.
Yeah.
And Cora was the last
ISO.
of the ISOs. Well, at the end of the movie, she was the last of the ISOs. Castor was an ISO. Castor.
Yeah, that's right, because he said he had to recreate himself to survive.
And he recreated himself
he was
as
also
Zeus. Yeah.
Well, no, he was Zeus originally.
Zeus. Yeah.
And then he created Clastor. Clastor. The scene is actually spelled Clastor.
Is it?
For the scene where you're introduced to him. Clastor.
Anyway, there aren't very many ISOs left because Clue went on a purge.
Yeah, Clue
he did the
purged them all
purge.
because
He went
these are imperfect.
crazy on him.
He's like, these are imperfect, and I'm going to purge them all.
He pretty much went.
I'm to create the perfect
He
system.
couldn't control them, so he
Well, it
had
had
to
more-
eliminate them.
It had more to do with they were not perfect.
Yeah.
They were life forms, and life is inevitably imperfect.
Right.
And so to create the perfect system, they can't exist. He had to make sure of it. And that's where the problem came in, because Flynn told him, you are to create the perfect system.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then Cora takes him back to
His actual dad.
His actual dad. So he meets his actual dad, and of course,
That's the most awkward dinner in the history of humanity.
how did they have fruits and veggies? I don't know where the heck.
I like
that was a little
holding
weird.
A thing of green beans up on his fork, and he's examining it from every angle before
Yeah,
he
he's like,
bites
is
it.
this a real green bean?
I
or
probably would too. I'd be like,
So would I.
what? This is a cyber world. I don't.
I just
What?
was sitting there like,
Where's your garden?
can't
How
be
do
real.
It's like he's in the
Where do you find
Matrix.
dirt?
I know the steak isn't real, but my mind's telling me it's juicy.
Yeah.
It is the Matrix.
Mine
Very
is telling me
Matrixy.
it's juicy and
and tasty and quite delicious.
And
tender.
ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
But yeah, that scene was just awesome because, there's Cora sitting there and she's so naive. She's like, or one of them asked Sam, are you going to college? And he says, yeah, such and such. Until I dropped out, and Cora just cracks up laughing.
And then she looks around and she's like, "You're not laughing. I'm gonna stop
I'm gonna
now."
stop now. And she focuses on her food and starts shuffling it in.
Yes. Meanwhile, still looking around.
Meanwhile, the two Flynns are just kind of staring at each other. And finally, they get to the root of the matter of, why didn't you come back?
Right, and then Kevin Flynn talks about how Clue, how he and Tron were walking along, and Clue's asked, "Hey, hey Flynn, am I still the creator of the perfect system?"
Yeah.
And then Clue's armada starts coming out, and
Tron yells, "Flynn, run!"
And then we don't actually see Tron getting killed. We
You
just
assume that that's what happened.
Yep.
Because up to this point, the champion of Clue is Rinsler. Spoilers.
Well, we already said that going in.
Well,
so
yeah, I know.
we don't need
At this point, Clue doesn't have a champion.
Yeah, he does, Rinsler.
Rinsler is Tron. He steals Tron. He
I know,
reprograms
but
him.
up to this point
but
in the
he's
movie,
been acting as the champion.
Viewers are thinking that Rinsler is Clue's champion.
Right.
He has 2 discs that he can fight with. He is unbeatable.
He's like the best player in the game, hands
when
down.
the winner of the disc wars comes down to meet the next challenge, it's Rinsler. The crowds know this. The crowds are yelling for Rinsler to win.
Mm-hmm.
And when Rinsler wins, they're yelling for him to de-res the program that he's just won against. So Rinsler is Clue's champion.
Right, but this tells that he actually we don't know that he repurposed Tron. We find out later in the movie.
We found out later that he can't create programs, but he can repurpose them.
He can repurpose them. Yep. Well, we actually find that out with the MCP in Tron 1.
Yeah.
MCP can't create programs. He can just repurpose.
Right, because he takes them to his stronghold basically and tells them, you will be repurposed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It does do
function.
that.
Yeah, at the very end.
Okay, so like
Wow, it's really a conservation of energy thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can neither be created nor destroyed.
From there, they had to escape, obviously, because they're onto him. They found their trail back to his dad's den.
And they've got, by this point, they probably have 4 real-time hours to get out.
Yep.
Yep.
So, because the portal's only open for 8 hours because of how much energy it consumes.
Yep.
Get to the portal.
But 8 hours is 1 microsecond. Or
That's one
microcycle. Sorry.
I was going to say, what?
One cycle.
1 microsecond?
Yeah, that's 8 hours!
It is, actually. 1 microcycle is 8 hours. So 1 cycle is 8 times 1,000, 8,000 hours.
But wait a minute. Hold on
I
a
know,
second.
it doesn't
I just
make
thought
sense.
of something. In the first Tron, he was on the grid for 1 millicycle, right?
1 microcycle.
I don't know.
Whatever the term is.
Yeah.
When he came out of the grid, no one even knew he'd been gone.
Yeah.
Because, and they were only in that office for maybe 2-3 hours at the most.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that game kind of made me think of the movie Inception, you know, where they're off in their dream world in the dream world equivalently for like a week or 2 weeks, but in actuality, they're dreaming for like 2 hours or whatever.
I'm wondering if he wasn't in the grid for like an hour, which is about how long the job would have taken. But to him, in grid time, it seemed like a couple days. I'm wondering if it's not the same type of thing.
Yeah,
because at one point in time in Tron Legacy, they mentioned that they've been looking for Flynn for 1,000 cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Which means a millicycle or a microcycle cannot be 8 real-time hours.
Yeah,
it just
I know.
doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. No, the math is wrong. So
I think there's a time thing going on, like in Inception, where it's this much time on the grid. But we don't know for sure how much time this is in real life unless we wanted to take 1,000 cycles and divide it by 10 for 10 years. That would tell us how many cycles are in a year.
It's like Narnia.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So they go to seek help
Yes.
from what's the name of I don't remember that awesome club with that dude.
End
in
of
the
line.
which is
With
MCP's.
Yeah.
MCP's.
That was a
He would always
slick
end with
club.
end of line.
Yes. And so, anyways, the dude Zeus or Zos or something like that.
Zeus.
He ended up betraying Sam
Yep.
and selling him out to the programs
To Clue.
And to reward
That
Clue,
was an
got
awesome
double-crossed.
scene.
Got his just deserves.
Yep, to reward Clue.
Clue was de-resed.
What?
Or, I mean,
No,
Zeus was
Zeus
derezzed.
was derezzed, but he was derezzed. They put mines in the End of Line Club, and when Clue was leaving the club, he said,
End
End
of
of
line.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
But okay.
I didn't notice it till the 3rd or 4th time.
"Oh, and another parallel between the two movies is
Okay, fine.
Let Irene talk.
okay,
I was gonna say, love the DJs
Yes.
Yeah.
in that club.
they
Like-
were awesome."
I think that was the Daft Punk, actually. That was
Yeah.
the people who did the actual soundtrack, yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome. But I thought it was just so funny. Like, Irene and I found this hilarious when the orange guys came in. And, you know, the programs that were the DJs kind of look. And they come back and they adjust the music again and they're just kind of jamming out
it's
to the
like-
fight.
Yeah, they're not even helping or anything. They're just like, nope, we're just here to run the music.
That soundtrack is badass.
I love those 3 tracks on the soundtrack, and then when Flynn comes in, and the music just stops, and he sweeps into the room. I
Yeah.
love that scene.
And this is earlier, but when Clue in the original movie, when Flynn, Alan, and I can't remember her name,
The chick.
Yeah.
She wasn't important enough to have a name, apparently.
When they hack into when they break into Encom, and the door has to turn over, and this is like a 4 or 5 foot door. Flynn looks at it and he's like, Flynn looks like it and he's like, that's a big door.
And then when Sam comes and he breaks in and it's opening, he goes, now that is a big door.
Yes. So it's like the exact same thing.
I think I would probably say the same thing, though. Confronted with a door like that.
That's actually what I
But
said,
you would
too.
think
At that point,
Sam would know how big that door is.
Maybe it
This
just
is his
gets him.
company.
Maybe it just gets him every time. Well, he only goes in there like once a year, right?
That's true.
Maybe he never uses that entrance, hardly.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, actually, I'll bet he uses it more than we think because he only visits once a year, and it's for the yearly prank.
Maybe.
but yeah, if I was confronted with that, all I could do was state the obvious. That's a big
door.
Anyway, when the end of Line Club gets blown up, Castor, whatever, Zeus, he steals Kevin Flynn's data disk, which is the clue for
the key
for Clue
to get out,
to get into the real world.
And that's what he's wanted all this time.
Yes, and to bring his army into the real world and take over everything.
So he can create the perfect system on Earth.
Yes.
And then they'll expand to the solar system and the universe. But, yeah, I just...
So, Clue gets the disc from Zeus and then blows him up accordingly.
Yeah. You know what? If he's going to pull that kind of turncoating, it's smart for Clue to do what he did. Because, okay, he told the rebels, basically, that they could trust him. Mm-hmm. And then he turned them over to me. So, it's only a matter of time before he turns something that I need over to someone else who will overthrow me. Yep. I mean, it's smart.
Yep.
It's highly intelligent. I would do it.
Never trust a turncoat.
All right, so after the end of Lion Club's demise...
Sam, you're messing with my Zen thing,
yes.
man.
Yep.
They escape.
Cora.
They set out to get his
Cora
disc back.
Gets her arm chopped off.
Yep.
This is when we learn for sure that she's an ISO.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Flynn, Kevin, is fixing Cora's DNA strand, and Sam's like, "Well, didn't you write it?"
Well,
and
some of it.
Kevin's like, "Some of it. This is an ISO." He didn't say this is an ISO.
No, he pulled up the double helix, and Sam's like, "She's an ISO."
And then Kevin's like, "Yep." And then he finds the code, he extracts it, and then it turns into like a butterfly or something.
I love it. He's just like, doop, and it goes flying away.
That's the bad code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
Turned into a butterfly.
It was adorable.
Bye-bye, bad coding.
Yep.
I wish I could do that with my bad coding.
And then her arm starts growing back.
It's just amazing.
That was pretty sweet.
Yep.
And then he goes, okay, when she wakes up, give her this. I'm going to go knock on the roof.
Yep, and that doesn't mean he's peeing either. That means he's meditating. I thought he was going to take a piss or something.
I thought he was going to mess with something with the programming to make a thunderstorm or something to cover their trail.
Not me.
I just thought he was going to go up on the roof and do something.
He was going up
Didn't
there
have
to
any
think.
specific
Yep,
ideas.
He went up there to think.
So, Dale, what next?
I'm trying to remember the movie off the top of my head. I think they set out to get his dad's disc back.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Not yet, though. Not yet.
No, not yet. At this point, they were making a full-on run for the portal
and
to try and stop Clue.
Then they find that Clue has actually a mothership there
that he's
by
planning
the
on taking
portal
through.
that he's going to take through.
With every program on board
Yep.
with him.
And then they find out where Kevin's disc is, and they go to steal it back.
And I like how when Kevin Flynn asks Sam, what are you going to do? What's the plan? And Sam goes, I'm a user. I'm going to improvise.
That's right.
We do that.
And also, that's exactly what Kevin told Tron in Tron 1.
Yep, we'll improvise. I'm a user.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's this huge power of the user within the grid. I mean, all they have to do is tap into it, and they can do anything. And that's basically what Flynn and Flynn do.
And programs are limited by their programming.
Yes, Flynn and Son. And I just loved
Flynn and Son.
when Sam got up to the tower, and, there's this huge, long, drawn-out fight, and then he goes in where basically Clue's henchman is. And Clue's henchman gets up, and he salutes, and he goes, power to the user! And, Sam grabs the disc, comes over, grabs the henchman and this grip around his neck like it would choke him. And he goes, I came with a program. A female. Where is she? And then she comes in with Tron and he throws the henchman down. There's this fight with Tron and, this is when they do the chorus says, we're not going to make it. Made it.
Yeah.
And then, Clue comes into the room and the henchman, power to Clue or whatever he was going to say. Clue de-reses him and I'm just like, yes.
And then he sees Flynn and Sam and Cora just escaping in their plane.
No, that was Rensler that saw it.
Oh, was it?
I would assume that he somehow communicated this because Clue himself didn't actually see it.
I thought he did.
Nope.
Okay.
Rensler saw.
And then they jumped out of the tower and they formed into jets, or they had,
They had,
Light
like the light
jets.
bikes, they have light
jets.
banshees.
What?
They actually look like banshees from Halo.
Yeah, they do, actually. They look like banshees.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
With
Now that you mention
light
it.
coming out of their butt ends.
Banshees do, too.
Just like the band.
True! Except if you run into the light trail from a banshee, you just might stink for a while.
Because who knows what they put in those things.
It won't de-res.
Right.
But you'll smell. What? It's true!
I was gonna say, isn't that where they learn out that Rensler is Tron?
Yeah,
Yes.
because they're in this light battle, and all that's left is Rensler and
Clue.
And
all of a
Rensler
sudden
starts
there's
getting
this
flashbacks.
Well, there's this great thing, and the music shifts when Flynn realizes it, and
then
Tron flies over, and he looks up, and he recognizes
and
some
it
mannerism.
says, Tron, what have you done?
What's happened to you?
Or what have you
Or
become?
what has
or
become
something.
of
And
you?
it was at this point that Tron was just like, he suddenly was conflicted, and he's behind them and in line to destroy them, and he's like, he's having these flashbacks, and he's hearing himself yelling, Flynn, run! Get away! Run! Mm-hmm. And
then
this is where my favorite line in the movie is.
And he says, I fight for the user.
You said it wrong.
You offended. It was like you offended Liz. Look at you all cold faced. You said it wrong. How was it said, Liz?
That was a very, very disappointed
God.
look you gave him there. I think you said it wrong. That was great.
You said it wrong.
I have to stop laughing.
You look like you were going to de-res Chris there.
Whoa. De-rest.
It was, I fight for the users. And it was plural users because there were two users.
Oh.
And you knew there were two users.
And you had to get the inflection and the emphasis right.
Yeah.
And there was all that stuff.
Yeah. You
Rage.
still said it wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow. That is going to be the best line in this podcast. You
Yes.
said it wrong.
You're saying it wrong.
You're doing it wrong!
I'm sorry.
God.
This is dying over here.
Yes, I am.
She's turning red.
I can't breathe.
That would do it.
So Tron and Clue end up going at it then.
Well, Clue smashes, or Tron
Smashes
into-
Clue to keep Clue away from the users.
Yep, and then Tron has one of those parachutes, or no, he has another glider.
He always has 3 or 4 of them.
He has another light.
Right
Light
when
glider.
it looks like he's about to get away.
And
then-
then Clue comes over and fights him away from it. And then Tron sinks in the water, and he
Into-
turns blue again.
Yep, because then
Just
he
kind of
realizes.
spontaneously turns blue.
He doesn't de-res, though, so we don't know if Clue is
We don't
dead or
see him
not.
de-resing. And he's a program, so he probably doesn't necessarily have to breathe.
No, I would say he doesn't have to breathe underwater.
And then this is when we get our climactic moment on the bridge to the portal.
Yep, and
And-
Clue is there
And
to meet Kevin and crew.
And Clue says, I created the perfect system. And Flynn goes, I know, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know what perfection was when I created you, but now I do. It's all around us.
Oh, there was one other thing I noticed right before this,
What's
after
that?
Tron turned blue again.
What's that?
When Cora, Flynn, and Flynn are in the plane, I'm just going to call them Flynn and Flynn, they can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the big plane thing. And Flynn Sr. looks at Cora, and this is when Sam's in the back. He goes, Cora, I need you to do something for me. And it never shows what he asked her to do. But I figured it out for the first time this time
trading
watching
discs.
it. Yeah, they traded discs.
Yep.
Because, initially Sam got in and he handed his dad his disc and he says, "Don't lose it this time." But I think Flynn knew, there's going to be a confrontation at the portal. Mm-hmm. And if I make it through, it's going to be lucky, but I don't think I'm going to make it home. And I think that's incredibly sad that he made that sacrifice, knowing very well when he took that disc off his back what it meant.
No,
Right.
There's two keys to going to the outside. One is Sam's, one is Kevin's.
And Kevin had to make sure neither fell in Clue's hands.
Kevin, no, he really wanted to make sure that Cora got out because she was last ISO and she holds the key to diseases.
Honestly, though, I think that as long as there's one disc per going through, they can do it. I think it was more a matter of he knew Clue would be back. He didn't know when Clue would be back, but he needed to make sure that Sam and Cora would get the two vital discs out. Mm-hmm. Because if Clue got his hands on one of those discs, game over.
Yeah, game over, man.
Yeah, I loved how he was always using "man" at the end of sentences.
Ultimate sacrifice.
It's like, wow, man, you date yourself there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
and
the
then,
80s. I like how they keep the 80s lingo. It's
They
like,
do.
Right.
he never left the 80s because he's been here all this time.
He's not in modern world.
Hey,
He's
dude.
in his own.
And Flynn and Clue have a confrontation. Sam and Cora go into the beam and are about to get out. Then Clue
Charges at them.
charges at them because he realizes that Sam
Sam has both the discs.
Cora had Flynn's discs. So what Kevin does is he
reconstitutes.
He reintegrates himself with Clue. And according to
Earlier in the
Cora-
film, we
Cora-
were told that the only way to reintegrate a program, the creator of that program would not survive the event.
Or at least
But-
that's what Cora said.
Right. This is what Cora's telling us.
no,
but
I doubt anybody's ever done that before.
I don't think anyone has, because Flynn's the only user that's ever come in. Mm-hmm. Other than that, a program would be as simple as pushing delete. On a keyboard, it's like Sam said, I can delete them with a keystroke. So
Anyway, so we know that Tron isn't dead, and we suspect that Flynn is not dead. Kevin. Mm-hmm. So
because if anyone could survive the event,
he could.
it would be Kevin.
Yep.
Because of how powerful he was on the grid.
And you gotta have that third movie.
Well, there is going to be a third movie. We got
And
to have
hopefully
that
a fourth movie. Because the third movie is going to be Tron Uprising, which takes place between Tron Classic and Tron Legacy. Mm-hmm. It
In
talks
between
about
times.
It talks about Tron fighting for the users.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It talks about what actually happened on the grid.
Right, during that time that Flynn disappeared.
Whereas at one of the special features of Tron Legacy, we see what happens in the
Real
normal
world.
Yeah.
between the two events. There's a
Yeah, that was a really good extra they had there.
yeah. There's a feature called Tron Flynn Lives.
And it
Yeah.
actually looks like real newscastings.
It does.
Kind of have like a fake documentary style going on
Yep,
there.
it is.
Yeah, and news interviews with Flynn.
Well, with Flynn's company.
Or no, with Alan, rather.
Alan.
With Alan and a couple of others.
The guy
Ram.
that created Ram.
And it's just as themselves today, so
Yeah.
I was kind of confused,
I
actually.
know,
At
the
first
first
when
time I saw it, I was like,
Wait,
wait,
what? Is this?
wait, whoa, what? Huh?
But then they start talking about their positions in the company, and I'm like, wait, so are they talking about, like, their position in the movie, or is this part of the movie? What?
It's like a District 9 thing where the whole thing is a documentary that is taking itself seriously.
Oh, yeah, that's a good comparison.
But District 9 is
Oh,
a
yeah.
horrible movie, so it's not really a good comparison.
I liked District
You're
9.
out of your mind. District 9 was pretty badass.
You're out of your mind, Dale. Shut up. Get out of my house.
It was only nominated for Best Picture of
That-
the Year by the Academy
that-
Awards.
Yeah, because there was nothing else that year.
Yeah.
I'm sure it means it's a
The
crappy
camera
movie.
angles stank. They stole ideas blatantly from things.
It was supposed to be Halo,
They might have
the movie.
They might have stolen ideas, but you know what? I think the execution was pretty
It was
good.
supposed to be Halo.
That's the
And
biggest
I've
disappointment.
No,
actually
it wasn't.
seen-
It wasn't supposed to be Halo.
Yes, it was
The
supposed to be Halo
the,
because
the director
Andrew
was
Jackson-
supposed to make the Halo
Not
movie.
Andrew Jackson.
But
whatever.
the studios behind the Halo movie threw a fit because they're like, we don't trust this guy. He's not a credible film director.
He made
Peter Jackson's not
half
credible?
of Halo when they pulled it out from under him.
They didn't even start production. It didn't get
Yes,
out of
they did.
pre-production.
Yes, they did. The first 15 minutes of the Halo movie is available on YouTube.
Okay, listen.
The actual Halo movie is available on YouTube for the first 15 minutes. And you
Hey,
see Master
so we're
Chief.
talking about Tron.
Yes, we are.
Interviews, the Flynn Lives thing.
Tron
District
can
9
be
made me
Master
angry.
Chief.
Yes, Tron can be Master Chief. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a parallel.
He fights for the humans. Anyway, the Tron lives.
Dale's
Flynn,
mad at me now.
Lives.
Flynn lives. Yeah, Flynn lives. I want to see a Tron lives.
Yeah.
now because
Tron Lives.
I want a
No,
Flynn
that'll
Lives
be-
I hope
t-shirt.
Tron-
That'll be a scene in the movie.
I want a Flynn Lives t-shirt.
I want one by MGC next year. I was thinking if I ever have an arcade, like I want to,
We'll call it Flynn's.
I no, well, we're not
I think that
gonna call it
name's
Flynn's,
taken.
But I want a Flynn's neon sign in there. There's got to be a Flynn's
Yes.
neon sign in their arcade,
And we have to have a Tron game.
And we have to have a Tron game. Yes,
There you
The
go.
old Tron game.
yep, the one from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bust out all those old Tron games. Tron 2.0. Now, I want to. If I ever see that, the game they made based off the movie on a 360 and PS3, whenever it gets cheap, I probably want to pick that up because
Tron Evolution.
yeah, it's all just like the Tron games in there. It's all just like the Tron Olympic games or wherever the hell they are, and the Tron Olympics.
Tron Decathlon.
Yeah, and I remember reading like kind of like mixed reviews on it, but I think the graphics looked cool. And I think it'd be just, I don't know, for you guys, especially being huge Tron fans, I think that'd be something cool to have and just to try out. I'm sure it
Yeah.
looks sweet.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. So crap, I guess. Yeah.
But I recommend to anybody who buys Tron Legacies, check out that Flynn Lives documentary.
Yes.
Because it is
please.
really worth it.
Gotta watch
It's,
that.
it's like
it's
10,
only like
15
minutes.
Yeah.
But it's
So
very
short.
well done.
It is.
And believable.
And it really goes a long way toward explaining
How they got to where they were in the movie.
and what exactly was Sam doing in the beginning of the movie. How did the company get to the point it got to? You know,
Right.
it really fleshed that out for viewers. Because you're kind of sitting there and you're like, okay, I understand Flynn disappeared 10 years ago. But
Oh, and Dylan,
what?
Dillinger's son is in this movie. Dillinger, the guy who took over Incom.
Yeah.
At the beginning. And
I was thrown for a loop at that one.
and he's actually one of their top programmers.
But he's not stealing ideas.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you get the at least you
He
get
is
the
greedy.
idea that he's like a good programmer in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
He's still greedy.
Well, yeah, he
how do you
is.
think he's greedy though?
Because in the beginning, he's like, we have to make this company profitable. And like he's
I thought
like,
that was the
chewing-
No,
chairman,
no,
though.
that was
No,
Rob
that
Lowe.
was no Dillinger as well.
Are you
Dillinger
sure?
as well was talking to Alan, and he was like, the idea that we're going to give programs away for free is the thing that went with Kevin Flynn.
He was saying it wasn't free because it is the most secure operating system available.
Okay.
And in computer world, if it is highly secure, you don't want to give it away for free because anybody can crack it. Then anybody can get around there.
I suppose.
All right. So to wrap it up, what would you guys say of all the Tron movies and the bonus features we saw?
20 out of 10.
What would be your
10 for each
your
movie.
number one Tron moment?
I fight for the users.
Yes, we know, Liz.
You're messing with my Zen, man.
There you go.
I actually did like that line in the first movie. Hooray for our side.
Yeah.
Dale?
Just like I guess like the opening whole in the first Tron, Flynn's arcade, just seeing him go to town on that Tron arcade machine. That was
Liz,
Oh.
I've been inviting you to come over and watch the movies. It's
well,
not
I
our
wanted
fault
to
that
the
you didn't
past
come.
couple days, but other
I guess
Not
I
our
can grant
fault.
him that as like the
other crap
most
had
memorable
weather,
thing
crappy
for him.
Snow in May had a
Not our fault.
Yeah, Snow in May kind of sucked.
Yeah.
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 But
Like,
it's
guys,
not
I'd
our
like
fault.
to come over, but the whole 2 mile stretch of 42nd is a pure ice rink right now, and my 4-wheel
So
drive
skate
truck.
over here.
Yeah, we had
So,
snow
go
in
on the
May.
dirt.
Yeah, they won't mind. Nobody ever goes there anyway.
Yep.
That's where the Aurora is. Nobody ever.
Yeah,
and
right.
Liz
Yeah, that
wants
was
to know
pretty-
one thing. Liz wants to know one thing. If
Why is
Don't scream into the mic, please.
sorry? Why is it that the music in Tron Legacy is not on the Tron Legacy soundtrack?
She's talking about
That's
when
Daft
Sam
Punk.
first walks into Flynn's
The music
arcade.
of the arcade.
And
music.
I want that song.
If
I don't know what
anybody,
it's called.
If anybody knows what that song is, email us
Or post in the forum.
or post in the forums
I
and
wanna
mailbag
listen to
at
it.
ontappodcast.com.
Why?
She's crying over here.
I
Alright.
want that song. Yeah.
Just watch the movies and email us about them or post in the forums.
Liz,
or
what's that email address? Liz? Liz?
Crickets
Wake
at
up.
crickets.com.
Come on, Liz. You're starting to get the hang of it.
Chris?
No,
What?
Liz. Liz, what's
No,
the
you
email?
said you. I just said
On
that
tap
you-
podcast at mailbag.com.
Oh, what?
Um,
Other way around. What is
You're
it?
kind of close.
Liz, what is it?
Mailbag at on tap podcast.
Liz.
Yes.
Liz, you said it wrong.
Oh, burn.
Bird. Oh, yeah. No, that's good. You got it right.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I shouldn't have sugar this late at night.
No, you shouldn't. You finished the love too. Congrats.
I don't have any more caffeine.
So that's the email address you can reach us. Give
You have
Liz
it in
and
the
Chris
fridge.
the name of that song, or post it in the forums. You can find us on the podcast network at retroids.com.
You will be their favorite person for the day if you do.
That's
You'll
right.
be my favorite person for the day if you can just email me it.
Biff is always going to be my favorite person
Biff
of the day.
Sticks, email me the name of that song.
That's right, Biff.
We know you know what it is. Come
Or
on.
if you got any Tron memories or thoughts too of the series, some love you want to post, please send us a line or post in the forums too. That'd be cool. So,
Shout out to Biff Sticks.
Biff,
Biff.
you're awesome.
Sticks!
All right.
Tell me the name of that song, dude. I
Well,
know you know it.
Come on, man.
Don't mess with my Zen thing here, man.
thanks for geeking out with Tron with us, everyone.
All right.
We'll talk
Yep,
to everyone
thanks.
next time.
All right.
Tron
See
lives!
ya.
Bye.
End of line.
Lives!
End
End
of
of
line.
line.